If you own a $2 to $4 million business and you've been working harder than ever before for the same money, then this is for you. Because scaling to 8 figures is where the business stops depending on you, and that's where this video is going to take you. The fastest way for a 7-figure business to grow their profits by hundreds of thousands of dollars is simply to raise prices. So why are we so reluctant to raise them? If your present margin is 30%, and you increase your prices by a tiny 10%, that creates a staggering 25% boost in your profits. And yet, just thinking about doing that often sets up fear and self-limiting beliefs. Things like, oh, I couldn't do that, my clients would leave. Now, before I go any further, let me say what this video is not. This isn't about charging more for the same thing. That's lazy advice. The owners I work with have already added more value than their price reflects. The lever isn't charging more, it's actually catching up to what you're already worth and then committing to always deliver more value than what someone actually pays you. And that's the relationship that earns long-term clients and earns the right to keep moving price up over time. With that said, today I'm going to show you how to use pricing as the most powerful growth lever in your business, and also how to break through the fear that's keeping you undercharging, and how to implement a simple pricing strategy that gets accepted without resistance so that you can grow your profits by 10, 15, or 20%. One quick note before I get into it. Pricing is one of 5 cash flow levers we work with at Abundance Global. We call it SERPI, and that is sales, expenses, receivable days, payable days, and inventory days. Now today we're going to be focusing on the first one, which is sales, and specifically the price side of sales. Now if you want the videos on the other 4 levers, there is a link below that you can see the other videos. We've worked with over 2,400 businesses since 2010. We track real numbers, profit and loss, balance sheet, statement of cash flow, and pricing is consistently where the fastest profits can come from, but only when owners are confident in their product and they have the courage to pull the lever. So here's the plan. There are 5 things I'm going to cover today. 5 things to help you implement this directly into your business. The first one is why price is the #1 profit lever and the data that proves it. The second is why you have more issues with your price than your customers do. The third is the math that changes your mind about raising prices. The fourth is the pricing psychology that most owners have never been taught. And the fifth is how to structure your pricing from good, better, and best so the right clients choose the right option. If you want the price profit calculator and the pricing tools we're referencing today, then grab them below. It's a free download and the calculator is epic. You definitely want to have that in your business. If I told you there were 4 levers that affect your profit and one of them was 3 times more powerful than all the others, wouldn't you want to know which one it is? A McKinsey study originally published in the Harvard Business Review looked at hundreds of businesses and found something completely wild. They modeled what happens when you make a 1% change in 4 different areas, just 1%, and they calculated the average profit boost. So here's the results. If you reduce your costs, your fixed costs, by 1%, okay, that's your rent, your insurance, admin wages, you get a 2.7% profit boost. If you reduce your variable costs by 1%, that's your cost of goods sold, you get a 7.3% boost, more significant. Now, if you increase your sales volume by 1%, classic is, I need more leads, I need more sales conversations, you only get a 3.7% boost. Now, increase your price by 1%, and what do you get? An 11% increase, 11% profit boost from a 1% change, as long as the customers don't walk away. Now look at these 4 numbers side by side. Price isn't just the best lever, it's not even close. It's 3 times more powerful than volume on its own. It's 4 times more powerful than cutting costs. And yet, which lever do most business owners spend all their time on? Volume. I need more leads. I need more marketing, more content, more effort, more hustle. And which lever do they almost never touch? It's price. Airlines change their prices literally every second. They're constantly testing, adjusting, and optimizing. Hotels do it. Uber does it. Every sophisticated business on earth treats pricing as a living, breathing strategy. And most business owners go, oh, we'll get to it next quarter. Or worse, they haven't changed their price in years. Meanwhile, their costs have gone up, but their experience has also gotten better. In other words, the better they can deliver their product and service, they can do it even better than they did before. And they're still charging what they charged when they were half as good. That's the real point here. You've added value over the years, but your price hasn't kept up. Now, this isn't about charging more for the same thing. It's about just catching up to what you're already worth. Now, if you're not reviewing your price at least quarterly, you're leaving money on the table every single month, and not a small amount of money. The most powerful profit lever in your entire business, sitting there untouched while you grind for more volume. So stop chasing harder and start charging smarter. Price is the single most powerful lever you have ever got for increasing profit. It's not volume, it's not cost cutting, it's price. And here's the key. Most owners have already added massive value and the price just doesn't reflect it yet. So this isn't about charging more for the same thing. It's about catching up for what you're already worth. If you're not reviewing it at least quarterly, then you're leaving money on the table every single month. Airlines change their prices literally every second. You haven't changed yours in a year. So if price is this powerful lever, the obvious question is, why don't you pull it? And the answer is simpler and more uncomfortable than you think. Here's one of the most important things I can tell you about pricing. You are the worst person to sell yourself. Here's one of the most important things I can tell you about pricing. You have issues with your price more than your customers ever do. And think about what happens when you sit down to quote a client. Before the number even leaves your mouth, you're already starting to negotiate against yourself. You soften the figure. You build in a discount they didn't even ask for. You hedge. You apologize. You explain why it's a lot. And the client hasn't said a word yet. So what are you actually afraid of? Losing the sale? Being rejected? Being seen as greedy? The client pushing back and then creating conflict? Or the quiet feeling that maybe you're not worth what you're charging? We teach our members what we call the 10 pricing commandments. Several of them name this barrier directly. Some of those commandments are: 1, you're the worst person to try and sell you. Second thing is, you have more issues with your price than your customers ever do. Third thing is, being paid what you're worth is noble. Here's the thing that most owners don't see. You've spent years getting better at what you do. Your delivery has deepened. Your team has improved. Your outcomes for your clients are better than what they were 5 years ago, and yet your price hasn't moved. The gap between the value you now deliver and what you actually charge for it, that's the lever that I'm talking about. You're not raising prices, you're catching up to what you're already worth. In decades of doing this across thousands of businesses, the actual pushback from your clients is almost less than the actual fear. Almost always. Owners build this massive wall of resistance and it's all in their head. 2 more other commandments that are worth naming. Number 1, price is independent of cost. What I mean by that is most owners work out what their costs are, they add a margin, and then they call that the price. That's backwards thinking. The price is what the customer is willing to pay for the value you create. Your job is to deliver within that, not to build from the cost up. Here's another, number 2. Bad customers drive out good ones. When you underprice, you attract volume, but you attract price chasers, the squeaky wheels, the ones who take the energy and actually pay you the least. And not only that, they crowd out the clients who would have happily paid you the full rate. Being paid what you're worth is noble. That's not arrogance, that's respect. Respect for the value that you're actually creating, for the team that delivers it, and for the business that supports your life. The barrier to raising your prices isn't the market, it isn't your competition, it's you. You are more afraid of your price than your customers are, and the value you already deliver has almost certainly outpaced what you're charging for it. You're negotiating yourself down even before the client opens their mouth. What if I could show you the actual maths, the real numbers that prove a price increase is far less risky than you think? That's what the price profit calculator shows. Let me walk you through it. Most owners think if they raise their price, they're going to lose their clients. So let me show you the actual math, because the maths might seriously surprise you. Most business owners think that discounting drives volume and raising prices loses clients. Now let me show you the actual math, because the numbers tell a very different story. One quick caveat before we run the numbers. The math only works if the value is there. If you've been delivering more than your price reflects, this is the permission to catch up. If you haven't, then fix the value first, then come back to this. So let's say that you're running a 30% gross margin and you decide to run a 25% off sale. To make the same profit you were making before the discount, your sales volume would need to increase by 6 times. 6 times the volume, 6 times the delivery, 6 times the strain on your team just to make the same money you're already making at full price. Now that's the true cost of discounting, and almost nobody does this math before they run a sale. They just slash the price and hope the volume covers it. It almost never does. Now you don't need to memorize these numbers. We've built a calculator that runs this for any margin, any discount, any price increase, and it's called the Price Profit Calculator. And we're giving it away for free. Now look at this. If you have a business that has a margin of 30% and you discount by 25%, your volume will need to lift by 500% just to be at the same level. Worse still, if you discount by 30%, the chart literally goes blank because you can't make it back. There aren't enough customers. Now let's flip it. Let's say you've got the same margin, 30%, and you increase your prices by 10%. To make the same profit, your sales volume could drop by 25%. In other words, you could afford to lose 1 in 4 customers and still be at the same profit. Now let me ask you something. If you raise your price 10% and you lost 1 in 4, which clients would go? They'd be the price chasers, the difficult ones, the ones who drain your energy and pay you the least, the bad customers who really drive out the good ones. And in my experience across thousands of businesses for more than a decade, I've almost never seen someone actually lose 25% of their clients from a 10% increase. Almost never. But even if you did, you'd be making the same profit with fewer headaches and much better clients. A 25% discount needs 6 times the sales to be at the same place. 10% increase lets you lose 1 in 4 and still win. Which sounds easier to you? So the price lever is powerful. The fear factor is often overblown and the math supports it. But here's the thing that most owners still get wrong. It's not just what you charge, it's how you present it. If you want this calculator, it's linked below. It's a free download. Take it and run your own numbers before your next discount. And if you want help getting your pricing right beyond the use of the calculator, this is exactly the kind of work we do at Abundance Global. We help business owners between $2 and $4 million to package, price and promote their business properly so they can scale to 20, because 20 million is where the business stops depending on you. So book a Growth Driver call now and we can't wait to help you out. Here's something most owners have never been taught. Your brain doesn't see a number in isolation. It sees it in relationship to everything that's around it. And once you understand that, you can change how your price lands without changing the price itself. Most business owners think that the only way to make price feel more acceptable is to lower it, and that's wrong. You can make the exact same price feel completely different without changing a single dollar. Picture this, a big number, 100, and next to it, a smaller number, 19. Now, your brain doesn't process the 19 by itself. It processes it relative to the 100. The 100 makes the 19 feel small. That's called anchoring. Now, our brains make sense of numbers by comparing them, and you can use that very deliberately. Now, watch how it's played out for a real business. It was a go-kart business in the United Kingdom, ran an ad that said, just 19 pounds. Now the brain saw 19 pounds and had nothing to compare against it. Then they tested a very different version. The same price and the same offer, but this time it said, "200 cc's of Midlands madness, just 19 pounds. The brain now compares the 19 against the 200, even though the 200 cc's has nothing to do with the price. It's a completely irrelevant number. The result? A 38% increase in sales. The same go-karts, the same price, one extra number that had nothing to do with the price. Now that's anchoring at work, because your brain reaches for other numbers to reference against. And you can use that in every quote, every proposal, every price conversation. And here's another one. If you're showing a discount, the discounted price should be displayed in a physically smaller font than the original price. The brain reads the size of the number, not just the number itself. A big font equals a big number. A smaller font equals a small number, even though this is only a little bit smaller. That's font congruency, and most business owners get it backwards. And here's another one, and this one's almost too simple. Just remove the dollar sign from a price on a menu or a proposal, and the brain processes it as a smaller commitment. It's the same number, it's a different feeling. High-end restaurants and hotels have used this for years. The next thing is time framing. So let's say you've got a 12-month program and you sell it for $5,000. That sounds like one thing. What about if you have now a 6-month program with this same outcome, which means you get there faster? It sounds more attractive, and that's because it is more attractive. You can actually charge more for a shorter version. Go figure. A faster result, a higher price, works every single time. Now, this isn't about tricking anyone. The value is already in your offer. Articulation just makes it land properly. You don't need a lower price, you need a smarter way to present what's already there. One more piece of pricing psychology that most owners have never been taught. Watch what happens when someone makes a buying decision. Their shoulders literally drop. They relax. And at that exact moment, the shoulder drop moment, they are more open to adding to what they have just bought than at any other time in the entire sales process. Now, Apple uses this brilliantly. You go to the Apple shop, you choose your MacBook Pro, your shoulders drop. The decision is made. And then, would you like an upgrade of 64 gigabytes of memory? What about the larger storage? Would you like Apple Care with that? They spec it up after the decision, not before. That's the shoulder drop moment. Build it into your sales process and don't try and upsell before the shoulder drop moment. Upsell right after it. Price isn't just a number, it's a feeling. And how you present it, the anchoring, the size, the format, the framing, the timing, it just changes how it lands. You can make the same price feel completely different without changing a single dollar. You don't need a lower price, you need a smarter way to say it. So you've got the lever, you've got the maths, you've got the psychology. The last piece is structure. How do you actually set up your pricing so the right clients pick the right option? If you don't give people the options, the option they'll take is to go somewhere else. If you only ever present one price, you're choosing for them, and you're almost certainly choosing the cheapest offer. 3 options are the sweet spot. We call it the power of 3. 3 creates a pattern. It's clear and it gives people options. Good, better, best, or silver, gold, platinum. Whatever you call them, you want to have 3 distinct tiers. Now, the good option might be do it yourself. Access to tools and resources. The better option includes guided support and access to the team. The best option is fully done with you. Someone holding your hand through implementation. Now, here's the question that trips most people up. When you present these 3 options, which direction do you go? From cheapest to most expensive, or most expensive down? You start from the top always because of anchoring. When the brain hears the highest number first, everything else feels like it's a relief. When the brain hears the lowest number first, every step up feels like you're asking for more. It's the same 3 options, but a completely different experience. And here's how to do the key framing. This is our platinum option. I should mention this isn't for everyone, but it may be for you. Can I explain what's included? Now, you're not pressuring, you're giving them permission to see themselves at that level. Now, one of the service business owners I work with took this approach. Now, his top price used to be $20,000. And what he did from that $20,000, he set up 3 tiers. And what he did though, his platinum, he presented it from the top. Now, this top option was $37,000. And when he presented it, the prospect took this offering. So all of a sudden now, his core offering got moved up to being $37,000. 2 more things on this, and most owners miss both. First, never say the price is and leave it hanging. Always say the price is X and it includes ... then explains what's actually in the package. The word includes reframes the price from a number to a value package. And what happens is the brain stops processing it as a cost and starts processing it as a list of things that they get. It's the same price, but it's a completely different feeling. And second, now this rule overrules everything else I've just told you. It's commandment 10 of our 10 pricing commandments, and it is always, always, always test, test, test. Don't run a survey asking customers what they'd pay. That's not real data. The only test that counts is when they actually take out their wallet and they start to pay you. Test the structure, test the tiers, test the framing, test the order. Always, always test. Because what works for a service business at $20,000 might not work for a product business at $200,000. The principles are still universal. The numbers are yours to find. And here's the rule that holds all of this together. Whatever tier they choose, deliver more value than what they actually paid for. That's how they come back. That's how the structuring ratchets up over time. Price, then over deliver always. 3 options presented from the top, framed with permission, articulated with the word includes. That's how you let the client choose the right level instead of you choosing the cheapest one for them before they've even seen it. If you don't give them options, the option they'll take is to go somewhere else for business. And that's the pricing formula. The lever, the fear, the maths, the psychology, and the structure. Remember the McKinsey study, and that said that a 1% increase in your prices gives an 11% boost to your profit, as long as customers don't walk away. And yet most owners won't touch it because they're afraid of a reaction that almost never comes. And if you want help pricing right, this is the work we do every day at Abundance Global. We help business owners between $2 and $4 million to package, price, and promote their businesses so they can do it properly and scale their business to $20 million. And $20 million is a significant place because that's the place that the business doesn't require you to be involved in it. Now, if that sounds like you, then book a growth driver call in the link below, and we're looking forward to help you out. And don't forget the price profit calculator. It's free and the link's in there. Please use it. And here's the rule that holds all of it together. Always deliver more value than what someone pays you. That's how they keep coming back. And that's how you earn the right to keep moving your price up over time. It's the lever, the maths, the psychology, and the structure. They all sit on top of one thing. Value first, always. So stop discounting your way to exhaustion and start pricing your way to profit, because pricing isn't just about the money. It's about how you build a business that doesn't need you to run it. That's taking the business to $20 million in revenue. That's the goal. That's how you get leverage, and that's how you scale the business.